Alright, the VFX block is finally here, so I'm going to be real quick explaining everything you need to know about it. Alright, so when you first place the visual block, you'll see an entire list of all the VFX. I'll have a showcase of how each one of them looks at the end of the video for you to skip to, but for now I'm just going to use energy sparks. Alright, so the color is RGB scales. I'll have a link to a website where you can mess with a color wheel and get whatever color you want, but for now I'll just use red. So I'll put 25500 and you see it turns red. Alt color is what it switches to halfway through the move. So you can see the time is 1, so the first 0.5 seconds of the color will be this, and then after that it'll fade to this. So if I use this real quick, it'll go from red to white. And then opacity is, obviously opacity, so now the red will be half, transparent, and then the white at 0 will be full transparent, so it'll look like, I really don't know what that changes, but position, obviously X, Y, Z, just like the hitboxes and velocity. So if I set this 100, then it's going to go off 100 studs in front of me, and same goes for everything else. Rotation isn't really noticeable on energy sparks, but if I were to switch it to windering, you can see when I first use windering, it goes out in a circle around me like that. And if I did, let's say 90 for a 90-degree angle, pretty sure it should be, yeah. So now you can see it's going forward like that. I'll switch back to energy sparks now. And as you can see, you pretty much can't tell the difference on that. So it really just depends. Now with size, that's pretty obvious. If I change it to 4, it's going to be huge. If I change it to 0.1, then it's barely going to be noticeable. Time pretty much changes the, obviously the time. So if I did 0.5, it'd be quicker. And something to keep in mind is that the speed of it changes with the time. So if I said 4 seconds, then it would slowly do all of the frames one by one over 4 seconds. And then last hit. So if I wanted to hit someone with it, obviously this is just like animations and stuff. If I said last hit 1 on this and 0.5, I had a divergent fist. If I hit someone with a divergent fist now, it plays that. And if I don't, it doesn't. So that's actually probably the most useful addition. And, obviously the same position and stuff apply. So if I said 100, or not 100, but 10 to the right, then it would play 10 to the right of them, which use it how you want. But alright, that's pretty much it for the visual effects block. I'll have every visual effect playing on screen one by one, and the time will be 1 on all of them. The settings will all be default, so
you.